Before the mountains had form, before the oceans sang their first tides, before light pierced the canvas of the void, you existed in my thoughts. I want you to stop for a moment and really hear this, not just with your ears, but with your spirit. You were not a product of chance. You were not a last-minute decision. You were imagined, conceived and treasured in my eternal mind before a single star ever danced in the heavens. You may think of yourself now as older, perhaps even nearing the end of your journey. The world may whisper that your time has passed, that you've given all you can. But my voice says otherwise. My voice reaches beyond the timeline of your earthly years. It echoes into the womb of eternity where I first envisioned you, not as an afterthought, but as a radiant idea born of my own delight. I formed you not in response to need, but in the fullness of love. Before there were calendars or clocks, I knew your name. I saw your face. I imagined the sound of your laughter, the tilt of your smile, the strength you would carry through decades of both trial and triumph. You were a thought of love, my love, and nothing about you has ever been accidental. You may wonder now, in these later seasons of life, if you still matter. I tell you, you mattered before time existed, and you matter now just as much. My love for you does not diminish with age. It deepens, as a tree's roots grow stronger with every passing year. You are not fading. You are becoming fuller in me. Let me tell you a secret that is no secret at all in heaven. Before your parents knew you, I held your essence. Before the world placed expectations on you, I delighted in the purity of who you are. The world may have tried to mold you into its image, but I created you in mine. You were my original design, made in joy and marked by divine fingerprints that no time or sorrow can erase. When your bones ache and your memories grow hazy, when your body slows and your name is forgotten by some I have not forgotten, I remember who you are. I remember who you've always been and who you are still becoming. You were never invisible to me. In fact, you were inevitable. Your existence was certain the moment I dreamed of you. You see, love is not just something I feel. It is what I am. And from that eternal substance of love, you were imagined. You are not a product of survival or chance or evolution. You are an intentional act of creativity, a living echo of my own being. You are not here to simply pass time until the end. You are here because I still have much to reveal in you, through you, and for you. There were moments in your life, weren't there, when you doubted your worth. Times when you felt overlooked, underestimated, or abandoned. Perhaps you even questioned whether your birth mattered, whether your presence changed anything. But hear me now. Your birth sent a ripple through creation. You were like the first drop of rain on dry earth. Your arrival marked something new, something sacred, something only you could bring. I didn't create you because I had to. I created you because I wanted to. You were the expression of a thought I loved so deeply, I had to bring it into form. When your heart beats, it echoes the rhythm of my original thought. Every time you breathe, it is a reminder that my will still sustains you. I know the years have brought both blessing and bruising. I've seen every tear, every hidden disappointment, every prayer whispered in the night when you thought no one was listening. But I was listening. I have always been listening, because I have always been near. You are not forgotten, and you never were. The world may rush past, but I remain steady. My memory of you is not just a memory. It is living, active, and more intimate than even you can comprehend. I know not just what you've done, but who you are. The world sees age. I see eternity. The world counts your years. I count your impact. And let me tell you, your life has sent ripples farther than you know. When you were a child, when you were a parent, when you were a friend, a worker, a student of life, a seeker of truth, through it all, I watched with delight. I walked with you. I whispered truth into your soul, even when the world shouted lies. I was the steady hand guiding you when you didn't know where to turn. and I am still that hand now. You may not always feel holy, but you are sacred to me, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. My thought of love made flesh. Even now, your story is not over. The chapters still unfold with my breath guiding every word. Every wrinkle, every scar, every gray hair holds evidence of a life deeply lived and deeply loved. Do not count yourself out. The world may retire you, but I renew you. They may forget your name, but I inscribe it on my heart. They may think your best days are behind you, but I say your most eternal work is yet ahead. The impact of your presence in this world may not always be loud, but it is lasting. Let this truth settle deep in you. Before time began, you were already mine. You were already known. You were already loved. You were already chosen. So now, even as your days on earth grow fewer, let your faith grow bolder. You are a living promise that my love does not age, it endures. And you, beloved, are not just someone who lived. You are someone who was dreamed, by me, into being. And I never dream without purpose. Do you know why you were made? I didn't create you out of necessity, nor because the world demanded another body or another name to fill space. I did not form you as a cog in some cold celestial machine. No, my hands shaped you because my heart rejoiced in the very thought of you. You were not a task. You were not a duty. You were a delight. I want you to hear this clearly, especially now, in this later chapter of your life when the world may treat you as if your value has diminished or your contributions have expired. I do not see you that way. I never have, and I never will. My love is not mechanical. It is not automatic. It is not impersonal. My love is intentional, and it is joyful. When I made you, I wasn't fulfilling an obligation. I was expressing my pleasure. You weren't mass-produced. You were handcrafted, not in haste, but in joy. Every line on your face, every tone in your voice, every gift tucked inside your spirit, I placed each one with care, knowing exactly how they would work together to reflect a unique radiance that only you could carry. Do you see? You were not merely made. You were celebrated into existence. I know how the years can feel heavy. I know how disappointment, illness, grief, or forgotten dreams can make it seem like your life was more burden than beauty. But I am telling you, child, even in those moments that felt like shadows, my delight in you never wavered. When you stumbled, I was not ashamed. When you wept, I did not turn away. I never created you to perform. I created you to be. You are not a failed project. You are not a disappointment. You are not a missed opportunity. You are mine, and I take delight in you still. Do you know how many times I've smiled over your life? Not because of your success or your productivity, but simply because you exist, because you are a living reflection of my joy. There are voices in this world that would try to tell you otherwise. They say your value is in what you can still do, in what you can still offer, in how independent or useful you remain. But my voice says this: your value is intrinsic. Your worth was established long before you took your first breath. It was sealed when I said, "Let there be you." Do you remember the moments in your life when you felt most alive? The times when you laughed until your sides ached, when your heart felt full, when you watched a sunset and something in you just knew it was all part of something far more beautiful than words could express? Those were the echoes of my delight rising up in you. That wasn't just a fleeting feeling. That was me, reminding you who you are and whose you are. I did not form you to be a burden or an obligation to the world. I formed you to carry light, to be a vessel of grace, to express compassion in a way only you could. And you did, and you still do. Even if your steps are slower now, even if your circle has grown smaller, your spirit carries a fragrance of me that cannot be erased by time. I want you to understand something even deeper now. Delight is not passive. It is an active, vibrant force. When I say I delighted in creating you, I mean I rejoiced over you. I sang over you. I envisioned every moment of your life not with dread, but with excitement, knowing that even the painful seasons would become holy ground through your perseverance. Even the quiet years would become sacred altars where your prayers touched heaven. And I am still watching you with that same delight. You may not feel like much anymore. But child, I am not watching your productivity. I'm watching your heart. I'm watching how you love. I'm watching how you endure. I'm watching how you listen, how you offer kindness, how you pray for others even when you yourself need healing. These things move me. These things bring me joy. So many people believe they were created because I had a task to complete, a role to fill. But I want to say this again and again until it breaks through the lies you've been told. I created you because I wanted you, not just needed you. Wanted you. My heart longed to see you live, breathe, grow, and become. You were not made to prove yourself. You were made to be loved. In the stillness of your later years, when the busyness of youth and midlife has faded, let this truth rise. I am still delighted in you. You are still my joy. You are still beautiful to me. You are still the one I chose, the one I formed with laughter in my being, the one I called very good before the world ever gave you a name. When others grow tired of listening, I am still listening. When others forget your story, I remember every word. And when you wonder if you're now a burden more than a blessing, I lean in close and whisper, you have always been my delight. Let your heart be at peace. Let your spirit rest. You were never an accident. You were never a problem to solve. You were never created out of divine duty. You were created out of divine desire. You are still here, not because the world hasn't moved on, but because I haven't. I still have purpose for you. I still have joy to share with you. I still have love to pour through you. So walk forward in this day, not with guilt or with the heavy weight of what could have been, but with the full assurance that you were crafted with delight, and that delight remains, eternal and unshaken. Breathe in deeply right now. Feel the rise of your chest, the slow stretch of your lungs, the quiet rhythm that continues even when you're not aware of it. That breath is not just oxygen. It is not merely air passing through flesh. That, beloved, is my song still playing within you. From the moment I placed my breath into your body, I was declaring something eternal over you. You are alive by my will, and you live for my glory. You may not think much of it. Perhaps breath feels common, even tiring as the years wear on. But I tell you, it is holy. It is sacred. And it was given to you as a sign that my presence is not just around you, but within you. You were not animated by accident. You were animated by intention. When I formed the first human from the dust, I could have snapped my fingers or spoken a command to bring him to life. But I didn't. I leaned in close. I drew near. I breathed into him. That was not only the beginning of humanity, it was the beginning of intimacy between Creator and creation. And I have never stopped breathing life into those I love. Every breath you've taken from your first cry to this very moment has been my music continuing through you. And that music has never gone out of tune, even when your life felt like silence, even when you gasped through grief or sighed under the weight of sorrow, even when disease tried to steal your strength. Even then, my song was in you. It may not feel powerful now. Your breath may come slower or shallower or with effort. But know this, every single breath you take in this stage of your life is still an act of agreement with me. You are still saying yes to life, yes to purpose, yes to my presence. Every exhale is a quiet declaration that you remain a living testimony of my faithfulness. When others may overlook you, when your voice no longer commands a room or your name is no longer the one called upon, I still hear you. The breath that escapes your lips, even in the stillness of a lonely morning or in the middle of a restless night, it carries your praise. It carries your trust. It carries the echo of the song I placed in you from the very beginning. You may feel like you have less to offer now, but I say this to you with divine certainty. You still carry my melody. You still move with the rhythm of heaven. You still hold within you a harmony that no one else on earth can duplicate. No one else has your story. No one else has your scars, your wisdom, your quiet strength, and no one else breathes quite like you. Do you know what that means? It means the world is still incomplete without you in it. Your presence matters. You might not be running anymore. You might not be building or leading or parenting or working, but you are still being. And your being is a holy gift, because my breath still fills your lungs. Have you ever noticed how the older you get, the more you value silence? That's not a sign of retreat. It's a sign of maturity. In the silence, you become more aware of the sacred rhythm inside you. You become more attuned to the whisper of my voice, which was never loud but always near. Your slowing down isn't a fading away. It's a deepening. It's a return to the source. It's me inviting you to hear the music beneath the noise. There is something I want you to remember when the days feel long or the nights feel lonely. I am as close as your breath. You do not have to search far for me. I am not a distant deity. I am the very breath in your lungs. When you are weak, I am strong within you. When you don't know what to pray, your very exhale becomes intercession. When you feel you have no more words, your sigh becomes a song in my ears. That breath also carries memory. With every inhale, I remember the child you once were, the first time you giggled, the times you ran freely through fields or danced in your living room, or sang aloud when no one was listening. I remember every time your breath quickened in love or caught in fear or stilled in reverence. I have been with you through it all, and I am still with you now. So don't despise your breath. Don't take it for granted. Don't assume its slowness means your time is done. You are still a sanctuary for my spirit. I dwell in you. I sing through you. And just as I once created the universe with a breath, I can still create beauty through your life, even now. Perhaps you no longer have the energy to build, to serve, to go out into the world as you once did. That is all right. Even if your body rests more than it moves, your breath still reaches me. Your breath still matters in this world. You can bless your children and grandchildren with it. You can offer prayers for your neighbors, your nation, your world. You can whisper my name, and I will come close. Some of the most powerful moments in heaven are the unseen, quiet breaths of faith taken by my children who have walked long and far. You, elder saint, have walked much of your journey, but you are not finished. The song is not over. The breath still flows. And where breath flows, I flow. So breathe, beloved. Breathe deeply, even when it hurts. Breathe slowly, even when you're tired. Breathe gratefully, knowing that each breath is a gift and a message. It says, God is still in me. God is still with me. God is still working through me. I gave you that breath not just to survive, but to sing. And I am still listening to every note. You may feel like most of your life has already been lived, that your story is mostly written and what remains is little more than a quiet conclusion. But I need you to understand something eternal. You are still becoming. I, your creator, am not finished with you yet. Even in these later years, I am still forming, still revealing, still calling forth the fullness of who I made you to be. From the beginning, I never saw your life as a completed work in one chapter. I saw it as a holy journey, layer upon layer, season upon season, a living unfolding of something far more eternal than what this world could ever comprehend. Yes, the body changes. Yes, time leaves its mark. But your spirit is still expanding into my design. There are parts of you even now that are just beginning to rise. You may not understand all the turns your life has taken. There are wounds you carry that still feel tender, losses that still ache. There are roads you traveled with joy and others you wish you never had to walk. And yet I tell you this with all the authority of heaven. Nothing has been wasted. Not a single moment, not a single tear, not a single detour. I have used them all. I am using them all. Even now I am shaping something eternal in you. There are aspects of your character, your wisdom, your inner strength that could only be born in these later seasons. The compassion you've learned from loss, the humility that age brings, the unshakable faith that grew through storms. These are treasures. These are parts of you I value deeply. These are not signs of decay. They are signs of becoming. The world is obsessed with beginnings and youth. It celebrates what is new and often discards what has grown older. But I do not think as the world does. I do not rush to the end of your story. I savor every moment, every chapter. Because I alone see the masterpiece forming behind what others may overlook. You may feel unseen at times, forgotten even by those closest to you. But I see you. I know the hidden places of your heart. I know the thoughts you don't voice, the memories that return in the quiet, the regrets you carry with dignity, the prayers you whisper when no one else is near. I know all of it, and I cherish you. You are not just a person who once was. You are still becoming the person I always saw in you. There is no expiration date on your purpose. As long as you draw breath, I am working. I am moving. I am refining your soul like gold in the fire, not to destroy, but to reveal. Even in pain, even in limitation, even in stillness, I am still speaking through your life. When others look at your age and see the end, I look at your spirit and see eternity. You might not be chasing the dreams of your youth anymore, but the dreams I have for you, they are still unfolding. I am still drawing people to myself through you. I am still touching hearts through your words, your kindness, your presence. And even if you feel you've outlived your usefulness, I say your influence is still echoing in ways you cannot yet imagine. The love you've poured out over the years into children, into marriages, into friends, into communities, that love lives on. It has not disappeared. It has multiplied. It is growing fruit even now in places and people you may never see with your earthly eyes. But I see it all, and I am not done. Do not be afraid of what comes next. Many fear the future in these years, the unknown, the fragility of health, the approach of death. But I am the God of all time. I am already in your tomorrow. I will be there at your final breath, not with judgment, but with joy. Because I alone have seen the whole of you, past, present, and future, and I rejoice in what I have made. You are not a shadow of your former self. You are a reflection of my ongoing glory. So hold your head high, not with pride, but with assurance. Walk through your days not as one who is winding down, but as one who is walking deeper into the eternal design I wrote over you long before you were born. Every wrinkle, every ache, every quiet moment is part of that holy design. You are not declining. You are ascending. And when your time on earth comes to an end, it will not be a conclusion. It will be a continuation. For all that you are becoming now will finally be made complete in my presence. And the beauty I've been forming in you across your entire life will rise fully, finally, gloriously, into eternity. So rest in this truth. I alone know the whole of you. I know the child you once were. I know the adult you became. I know the elder you are now. And I know the eternal being you are still becoming. And I love every part. I have never once regretted creating you. I have never stopped working in you. I have never ceased delighting in who you are. So keep breathing. Keep becoming. Keep trusting that my hands are still shaping your story. Because even now, especially now, I am not finished with you.